Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is May 26, 2020, and this is the Flight Sim News. So, at long last, Microprose today has announced the Mighty Eighth. And as one might have speculated, this is the B-17 Flying Fortress simulation they've been talking about. However, there's a little more to it than that. Mighty Eighth will be a VR-first project, but also playable with no VR enabled, which you'll be able to play with 9 other friends or AI crew as you work together to survive the war and accomplish your missions. Drop those bombs on the right spot, guide your crew through long drawn-out day or dark, moonless nights. Keep your airplane in touch with the rest of the squadron and HQ as you monitor radios and communications. Defend your flying fortress by keeping those enemy fighters away from you and your squadron mates. Pilot or co-pilot this beast under a massive amount of stress and enemy fire, but don't drop out of formation or you're a sitting duck. The new Mighty Eighth is not just a game, it's an experience from a different time where young men grew faster than they should and saw things no man should see. And you will be put right in the middle of the action. And it gets better. The Mighty Eighth didn't use just the B-17. They also used the B-24 Liberator. Shouldn't we be able to fly that bomber as well then? Well, yes, and you will. The B-24 Liberator will also be added. You'll be able to fly missions in both legendary bombers, each recreated with meticulous attention to detail. How's that for a true Mighty Eighth experience? The question here is, will you be ready? And they posted a pretty extensive gallery here, a bunch of new images that we haven't seen yet, which looks pretty freaking impressive. So I guess my question is, it's going to be a VR experience, and to make things like this fun, you do have to, add a little bit of drama to it, play it up, make it a little Hollywood-like, But I do hope that, the flight model will be realistic and it'll be a simulation experience and not just a VR game. Either way, I think it's going to be super fun. But this is the big news of the day. I woke up to this and got my email from Microprose and I was like, oh wow, that does sound pretty cool. So this is gonna be pretty awesome because at the moment there really is no VR experience like this outside of like IL2 or DCS, and these renders look really amazing. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'm gonna keep my eye on what these guys have going on. But that is the big news of the day. So next up is the AirCombatSim Podcast, episode 9. In this episode, Goat, Red Kite, and Baltic Dragon talk with Ron Zambrano, head of Razbam Simulations, about their current modules, future plans, including the F-15E and the Falklands, as well as DCS in general. Definitely listen to this. It's pretty cool.
So, okay, let's move it. Let's get into this DCS and let's see what happens. Let's go forward. And it took us almost 2 years to put out the first early access version for the Mirage. We did have a lot of information.
So it's pretty cool. He goes into detail about pretty much everything they have going on at the moment. And it's definitely worth listening to. I will include a link in the video description as usual. In addition to the AirCombatSim podcast, which they also have linked on their own page, Razbam also has posted a variety of pretty cool images. This looks like the F-15E cockpit at work again. Of course, here's another render. Looks like Mig-23 possibly. And then the Lightning. Very, very cool stuff. These guys just don't stop. And I'm dying to see what actually comes out next by them. And granted, a lot of people are going to be like, why don't they finish the Harrier and finish the Mirage and all that? I think they've been doing pretty good with coming out with updates for those. But again, I'm dying to get my hands on an F-15E Strike Eagle. It would be sick and cool to have a MiG-23. This plane, while I don't know a hell of a lot about the Lightning, I think it's a cool looking plane. It'll be interesting. And oh, they did mention something here about the Harrier. Heatblur video alignment is now available. So they are still working on all of the projects they have out there and are plugging away on new ones. So I happened across this the other day. Last news update, I had mentioned how Leatherneck was working on the MiG-21. And this is a pretty extensive list of the things they're aiming to do exactly to the MiG-21. Looks like added VR device tracking support, work in progress, corrected ASP fixed net and pipper illumination levels for day and night, decreased radar altimeter hot start value from 200 to 100. And then it goes on, and it goes phase 1 external model changes. So there's a ton of stuff that they're doing to it, and it's great to see that the MiG-21 is getting some attention. It's really fun to fly in a sense. I have a hard time with it because I can't seem to fly it without knocking the engines out. It's really hard not to do a little bit of a negative G here and there. But a lot of people dig it. I've had fun dropping bombs in it more than being an interceptor. But that's it for the MiG-21. It looks like it's finally getting some attention, and that's awesome. So a few news videos back, I had posted a couple of videos by Barundus here. It was his part 1 and part 2 of Kiowa Warrior tutorials. And he has now posted part 3, engine start to idle.
Slow flight to fast flight, etc. The bottom line is what you're seeing is what we think is right. So I just want to put that assurance out there. Some of you had questions. I know that there, I don't know, from what I've been reading, there's a little bit of historical dissatisfaction with the flight model in the Gazelle. I don't know. I've never flown it. So I really have no basis of comparison. But what we're doing here is from the bottom up, trying to make this thing fly right and look right and the systems work right. And me and the team of KW enthusiasts are helping PC, work on those aspects of it to get it right. My intent for these videos is to, number one, just kind of generate a little bit of enthusiasm. I do not know when the expected release date is. It's still some time off, PC.
So that's really a cool piece of news because, PC is Polychop that he's talking about, and they have ended up with a great deal of dissatisfaction over the flight model of the Gazelle. And this guy that's doing these videos, my understanding is he is a former Kiowa Warrior pilot, and he is one of the experts that are helping them get this right. So I have a feeling this is probably going to be one of the most in-depth and realistic helicopter modules released for DCS to date. It looks great. Everything that I've seen about it so far leads me to believe that this is probably going to be super fun and unlike anything we've seen yet. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be fantastic fun. And this video is about 1 hour and 6 minutes long. So give it a look, guys. I'll include a link to this in the video description details. Alrighty. I am still running a competition thanks to the guys at Heatblur and Meteor. So I have 5 copies of the F-14 Tomcat module provided by Heatblur, and I have 5 copies of Meteor's new album, System Failure, to give away. What I've done is I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this, and I want to be creative and make it fair for everybody. So I'm going to be giving them away in single drawings. So this one runs 4 more days into the end of the week. This one ends, I believe, on Friday. I'm going to include a link to this web page, which is the WarGameGuru blog that I'd started many, many moons ago, and that's basically how I went into WarGameGuru on YouTube. I haven't really posted a lot over here for a while, but there are some pretty cool articles over here as well. If you want to check them out, I do have an interview with Polychop over here from December. There's a bunch of decent reviews, my widescreen monitor, the review of the Heatblur Tomcat in text format, classic reviews, my review of Jet Fighter 3 from 2019, my review of the T-Flight pedals, the Warthog joystick, high fidelity modules, blast from the past like the Suncom Strike Fighter Series throttle, the review of the F22 Pro joystick, and a lot of these old classic reviews are from the 90s. A review of EF2000 when it first hit the scene. U.S. Navy fighters, this is literally one of the first reviews of a flight sim that I ever wrote back in the 90s. So very cool stuff, guys, and it's worth checking out. But be sure to head over here and jump in here and enter for your chance to win a copy of the F-14 and Meteor's System Failure album. There will be 2 winners here. I'm not giving them away together. One person will win the Tomcat module. The other person will win the Meteor album. And I'm going to pretty much run them like this. I might just keep using Gleam to do it. Not sure yet, but there's 296 entries so far, and there really should be more than that. So let's try to get those numbers up before the end of the week, and let's get the Tomcat and Meteor's new album in the hands of you guys. So give that a shot. Don't miss out on it. I'll include a link to that at the top of the page here in the video description. So as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And until next time, guys.